$8 a gallon. Last May, that was the terrifying number everyone was talking about. A USC study made headlines by predicting California gas prices could skyrocket to $8.43 by the end of 2026. The media went into a total frenzy. Local stations, national networks, everyone was bracing for a gas apocalypse. On paper, the math actually checked out. Phillips 66 was preparing to shutter its Los Angeles refinery, and Valero was slated to close its Benicia plant. Together, that represents 17% of the entire state's refining capacity just vanishing. Economists at UC Davis were forecasting a massive spike. Some analysts were whispering about $10 or $12 fuel, and one expert even warned of shortages so severe that military bases wouldn't be able to get gas. Republicans in Congress were sounding the alarm, calling it a national security threat. Think about it. Over 30 military installations in California depend on this fuel. When Travis Air Force Base loses its jet fuel supply from Benicia, what then? The narrative was set. California had regulated itself into a corner, and every driver in the state was about to pay the price. Fast forward to today, January 18, 2026. Phillips 66 officially closed 3 months ago. The first major domino has fallen, yet here's the shocker. Gas in California is sitting at $4.21. That's down 2 cents from last week and over $1 cheaper than this time last year. I checked Gas Buddy this morning, and in Bakersfield you can find regular for $3.45. In California, that's almost unheard of. Now, the national average is around $2.84, so Californians are still paying a premium of about $1.40, but the gap hasn't exploded, it's actually narrowed slightly. So what happened? Did the experts get the math wrong, or did the market somehow pull a rabbit out of its hat? Let's look at the facts. When Phillips 66 shut down its Wilmington plant in October, they blamed high costs and heavy regulations. Everyone assumed losing 139,000 barrels a day would cause an immediate price surge. Instead, prices dropped. Part of this is just global crude oil prices staying low. When the cost of the raw material dips, the pump follows, even in California. We're also in January, dead of winter. Demand is at its lowest point, no one is taking road trips, and refineries are using the cheaper winter-grade blend. It's the quietest time for the market. Plus, the state was already preparing. Imports from Asia hit record levels last year, and the infrastructure to bring that fuel in was built out before the refinery even went dark. Then there's the EV factor. With 2.5 million zero-emission vehicles on the road and electric cars making up nearly 30% of new sales, the demand for gas is literally being driven off the road. But there's a catch. Valero hasn't closed yet. On January 6th, the company announced it's moving forward with idling its Benicia unit starting next month. By April, most of that massive refinery goes dark. That's another 145,000 barrels a day gone, right as we head into the summer driving season. It's possible the crisis hasn't arrived simply because the biggest hit hasn't happened yet. Valero's exit strategy is interesting, though. They aren't totally leaving, they're converting Benicia into an import terminal. Governor Newsom's office is calling this a win for his energy policies, claiming that new oversight laws are keeping prices stable. Meanwhile, the state is desperately looking for a buyer, maybe a European firm used to strict environmental rules, to keep the plant running. But after Valero took a $1 billion hit and paid record fines just to walk away, it's a tough sell. From the industry's view, California is just too difficult. Between the unique fuel blends, carbon standards, and profit caps, CEOs are calling it the hardest place in North America to do business. Environmentalists argue these rules are necessary for public health, but the end result is a shrinking supply. So are we looking at a soft landing or just a delayed disaster? The people who predicted $8 gas weren't just guessing, they were looking at the reality of an isolated market losing nearly a fifth of its production. Maybe demand is falling faster than the supply is shrinking, or maybe we're just in the eye of the storm. I spoke with a fuel distributor in the Bay Area recently. He is already booking tankers from South Korea and India. He wasn't panicking, but he was definitely on edge. He pointed out that you can't just summon a tanker if there's a sudden shortage. You have to plan months in advance, and global shipping is already stretched thin. The state did pass a law requiring minimum fuel reserves as a cushion, but that law goes into effect this year. In the short term, forcing companies to store more fuel could actually tighten the market even further. Right now, the official line from the state is that everything is under control. The industry groups, however, say the state is becoming entirely dependent on overseas imports. Both sides have been half right for years. The thing about energy is that it stays calm until it doesn't. We saw $6 gas overnight back in 2022. Right now, things are surprisingly affordable and the catastrophic predictions haven't come true yet. But consider this, California had 40 refineries in the 80s. By the end of this year, it'll have 7. That's a total collapse of local production. Maybe the shift to EVs will save us. Maybe we've threaded the needle perfectly. Or maybe we're watching a car crash in slow motion and we just haven't hit the wall yet. Valero starts shutting down in 2 weeks. By July, we'll know if the experts were wrong or if they were just early.